Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And I'm finally getting around to talking about the John Oliver segment about the WWE and how Vince McMahon is a horrible man who won't give his wrestlers health insurance. He won't take care of them. He lets them die. And, you know, a lot of that is true. I am not going to, as you know, the last thing I am is a WWE defender. The last thing I'm going to do in this video is defend the WWE, make it like Vince McMahon is a saint, he's a god. You know, he's done some good things for certain wrestlers. He's sent certain wrestlers to rehab. John Oliver's segment was very one-sided. Didn't bring any of that up. Made like, you know, he just uses these wrestlers like animals in the circus. You know, basically like they should be shut down like Barnum and Bailey, for example. You know, it's you know, a very one-sided tale, and John Oliver seemed to have a lot of faith in the fans to get some action taken in this case. He showed a lot of clips, a lot of them being older clips of the WWE from their glory days. He said that he was a fan himself. You know, I don't think I'm not denying that the guy's a fan. You know, some people be like, oh, he's not a real wrestling fan. Like, first of all, who cares, you know, if he likes it or he doesn't? That kind of reminds me of, like, you know, when a girl would claim that they play video games. Oh, she doesn't really play video games. It's like, who really cares if they don't or they're not? You know, it's like people are so hung up on if someone's, oh, you're a wrestling poser. I mean, that type of stuff, if that's still in your vocabulary, that's like junior high level stuff, guys. But whatever, you know, somebody comes out and says something, there's going to be a number of different, you know, analysis made about the situation. So, the thing that really bothered me the most is how John Oliver, a man that, you know, I don't like at all. I don't like the way this guy looks. He looks skeevy. You know, I don't agree with any of the guy's politics. I think it's very one-sided. I think he has to think a certain way being on HBO without a doubt. And I just don't plain like the guy. I wouldn't care if, you know, our thoughts aligned politically and he said everything that I agreed with. You know, it wouldn't matter. I just don't like I don't like him. Don't like his personality. Don't like his demeanor. He comes off as just very you know, overly intellectual, and people, I know, you know, some morons out there will probably say, oh, you're just threatened by his intelligence. If, you know, you watch this guy, he never really says anything. It's like Stephen Colbert. For so many years, people praised him. Oh, this guy has expert analysis. But if you really break down what he's saying, it's just, like, really, like, dumb jokes that, you know, oh, look how much I know, but not really knowing anything or not really educating the masses on anything, really. So, you know, if you didn't know a lot about wrestling, this was a good introduction. It is true, the wrestlers are private contractors. I didn't know about the death clause until recently, you know, listening to some wrestler shoot interviews. So there's a lot of things that, you know, an outsider who's like extremely casual about wrestling or didn't know a damn thing about the business, they could actually learn a lot from this John Oliver skit. You know, he did do a fair amount of research, but not enough research because it seemed like he was totally outdated on the product. He brings up the fact that Jake the Snake Roberts, you know, there was a, it wasn't GoFundMe, but it was like an online funding thing, or maybe it was GoFundMe, I don't remember, showing that, you know, the fans really care about these wrestlers. They care about the wrestlers more than they care about Vince McMahon. And I'm not saying that before I say what I'm about to say, let me just preface it, of course. I'm not saying that every single fan, you know, just is like a spectator in a Roman Coliseum that wants to see these wrestlers get slaughtered. But let's be perfectly honest, a lot of them do. How many times do you watch a match on Raw? Like, look what all the people were saying about, like, Jinder Mahal being WWE Champion. Why did he not deserve to be WWE Champion? because he wasn't Finn Balor, he wasn't AJ Styles, he didn't do all these flips, he didn't, you know, do all the high spots. He was more old school, he focused more on his character, more on his look. And, you know, he was a good worker. He actually sold in the ring and got heat. All the things that wrestlers are supposed to do, knew all the fundamentals. But because he didn't flip around, you know, like some kind of, you know, person on a flying trapeze, nobody wanted to take the guy seriously. So, you know, those are a great majority of the fans right now who are left. Now, there's some casuals left, I guess, but most of these fans are not very classy people. And I learned about these fans. I've talked about it at length. So I don't know if you're a new subscriber, and please subscribe, and you're a new viewer, you know, then you probably don't know, like, that, you know, I was a big fan of Ring of Honor. I've been to a lot of Ring of Honor shows. And that's when I got introduced to the Smark. I didn't even know what a Smark was at the time, but I got introduced to the Smark, which is basically a heckling fan, a fan that knows, well, not all of them will heckle. Some are silent smarks, but you get the point. They're outspoken fans. They're fans that, you know, have high standards of wrestling. You know, you picture these people, like, in your minds, like with Monaco's, like, oh, I'm only like the highest quality wrestling. You know, just completely just moronic. And the fact of the matter is that John Oliver is putting a lot of stock into fans. He thinks that, you know, wrestlers, they can get their rights, you know, just like fans manage to, he says, you know, get women, you know, higher up on the wrestling card with the women's revolution. You know, he says how, like, they tweeted and then Vince McMahon tweeted back, you know, we hear you, keep watching. You know, he says how people rallied against Roman Reigns, you know, when they didn't like somebody. You know, like, they make their voices heard. Like, he was trying to make a point, but he was trying to make, like, these people have, like, a positive impact on things. I guess, you know, the woman thing I get with the whole feminism, you know, shtick going on in society. So, you know, I guess John Oliver, you know, he's got to get that in there, but, you know, he's putting a lot of stock. You know, he just talked about Roman Reigns, and I reacted to this video in the past. He is basically saying that, you know, these fans right here, these fans.
He thinks he's really the #1 top guy, but he pretty much doesn't act like it.
He's just been nothing but boring. He has no moves.
Boo, Roman Reigns! Roman sucks! Roman sucks! Roman sucks!
I don't hate Roman Reigns, I just dislike him strongly.
Yeah, those fans, they can actually change the course of history. They are the ones who are going to be able to get these wrestlers health insurance, because those fans right there, those cool guys, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna go to WrestleMania, and he's making a task force here on his little HBO show. Come with signs, start chanting for wrestlers to have health care and to have more rights in the wrestling business and everything like that. Well, I get that, you know, and Disco Inferno, Glenn Gilberti made a good point. Like, these people sign on to the job. He signed on to the job. You know, it's like, you know, you're a wrestler, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. No, I get, you know, these are like high-profile stars, and John Oliver brings up a good point about the NFL taking better care of their stars and everything, but, you know, there still was concussion lawsuits. There, you know, that's still basically going on. You also have the fact that, you know, Vince McMahon has actually indeed helped quite a few wrestlers. Could he help more? Why, of course, but according to John Oliver, he's not helping anybody. You know, if you notice in any of my videos, I never really go after McMahon and say that he's such a horrible person, because I think he's done, you know, some good in society. You know, he has, you know, he's helped some people, he's helped some sick wrestlers. Now, I don't know if he was, saying that, Jake the Snake was, if McMahon was supposed to do something about that. I mean, it's like you can't help everybody. I love Jake the Snake, but that was, that guy's a legend. And so, it's on the internet, everybody sees it. And they funded Jake to get this surgery. And he was able to get the surgery when he couldn't afford it. And that was a nice little story there of the fans helping out, someone that gave them so much entertainment in their lives. But when you're tasking a bunch of low-life goofballs to go out there and do some good in the world, and he's really praising them, like saying like these are like classy do-gooder people. I'm sorry, but they're not superheroes. You're making like these people could be as great as police officers and firefighters and and EMS and like just making like these people are going to be like the saviors for these wrestlers. No, these fans have been the downfall of the product, John. If you haven't noticed, they and you haven't because I don't think you've watched the product, because I can tell that you still had the mindset of someone who watched the product from years ago. And I mean, I commend you that you haven't had to sit through all that terrible shit, but the fact still remains, it's like you don't really even know what the fuck's going on. You don't even know who you're talking to. When you're talking to WWE fans, you might as well be talking to a brick wall, because that's basically the intelligence of a current fan. So, you could have saved a lot of time, because this is not going to change anything. Like, people are saying, oh, this blew off the lid of the business and everything. And, that it did to a certain degree. But it's not going to be as telling as people think that it is. Well, it was telling, but it's not going to be as revolutionary. Like, oh my god, like the world of wrestling is like, okay. Listen, guys, John Oliver is popular, but he's not that popular. He doesn't even have the most popular talk show, okay? Not everyone has HBO. And second of all, a lot of people don't even give a shit, to be quite honest. Okay, yeah. Bunch of wrestlers, they're doing what they gotta do. I'm doing what I gotta do. I get it. Like, the people that are gonna be there in the arena, the 70,000-80,000 people who are gonna be in MetLife Stadium, like, you're really putting a lot of weight on these people's shoulders, when basically all they're gonna do is be bored out of their minds during this 8-hour show. They're gonna be too busy playing around with beach balls, making stupid chants, and doing the wave. Like, basically that's what we have to look forward to tomorrow night when the show is on. So, sorry, John, but it looks like, it's like, and I don't even really think that John Oliver even really cares about this. It's something to get ratings there. He knows that, like, people are good now. He has it up on his YouTube channel that people from, wrestling fans are gonna march over there and be like, yeah, he's talking shit about the WWE. It's so funny. It's like some of the biggest WWE fans, like the ones that will spend the fucking thousands of dollars to, travel halfway around the world to, come to WrestleMania. These people love the negative shit about WWE. It's like, if you hate McMahon so much, then why don't you do what John Oliver is saying then? Like, why don't you actually do some good and make a useful chant? I don't know, that just kind of sounds a little bit dumb to me. You're going to pay all that money to go to WrestleMania just to chant about health insurance? Yeah, health insurance! Yeah! I mean, like, it's like John even like understand like how stupid that sounds. First of all, they shouldn't be heckling anybody. How would you like that, John? Let's do some research on your show and see what you pay your employees. Is everybody making what they're supposed to be making? Is everyone getting the same health insurance plan that you're getting? Is there like I'm saying, let's check the wages. Are all the women on your staff making the same things as the men? Let's do a little research there. Since your politics are slanted to a certain way, we could do a little bit of research, and I'm sure we'll find some inequities. Huh? Yeah, I think we will. So, you know, like, how would you like it if your audience sat there and started fucking chanting, yeah, equal pay, equal pay? No, I don't think you want to do that. I think you just want to do your show and have people that respond to your applause sign accordingly. So, you know, you might want to think that over before you start accusing other people of things. Like I said, not saying McMahon is innocent, not saying that WWE is innocent. I just don't have the same reaction as a lot of other people where, you know, like, oh, let's be angry villagers with torches and go to, you know, the doorstep in Connecticut, you know, WWE headquarters, and, you know, just condemn McMahon for everything. It's just, it was a very slanted point of view, and it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change anything at all. Fans are not going to go there, and they're not going to be chanting about health insurance. They're going to be chanting far more dumb things. They're going to be doing a lot more dumb things, and the show is going to be a boring, dumb show to begin with. People shouldn't even be attending. That's why I'm not attending. I mean, the thing is, like, guys, like, this is the same place I went to WrestleMania 29. It's in the same place. Notice I'm not going this year. Why? Because I'm not wasting my fucking money on it. I review the show here on this channel, but I would not waste my money to go there, because quite frankly, I'd be like just all the other goofball fans. You know, I'd probably be bored out of my mind, but I'm not going to spend 8 hours chanting like a moron. You know, it's rude, it's obnoxious, it's dumb, it's counterproductive, it's a waste of time. So guys, that's my thoughts on the John Oliver segment. What are your thoughts? Post them below. If you liked the video, please leave a comment, hit a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, do so, and click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. And guys, this has been your YWC champ, and I'm signing out.